Former Ugandan President Idi Amin is notoriously known as a dictator who only reigned over his country by the gun, and many not so good things. But today we drive over 600 kilometers out of Kampala, up northwest to Koboko district, very close to the DR Congo border, to where former President Idi Amin was reportedly born and raised. At the far corner of northwestern Uganda lies a remote district, one of the many relatively new and small districts with literally no tarmac roads. A few undulating hills surround Koboko, which has just one or two modern buildings and one main street. But not far from the town of this little-known district was born a man whose notoriety rings bells of sorrow not only in Uganda but world over. That is former Ugandan President, dictator Idi Amin Dada. The young Amin had his formative years here in Pakago village, Godia parish, Media sub-county in Koboko county, Koboko district. The road to Amin's ancestral home is not any different from a typical village road in other parts of the district or even elsewhere in the country. We are curious, but on our arrival at the home at about 2 p.m., we are welcomed by only men. We later learned that the women were still in the gardens. You would be forgiven for thinking that an ordinary man lived here and not a former president. It's a very humble home.
I come from very poor family. I wanted to tell you this. And when I became bigger, my father has no money. I am to work, digging, and then people give me some money for food, and some money I keep it, and I pay my school fees, and I study through hardship.
But our mission today is to find out the good and softer side of a man reviled world over for real and imagined reasons. The late Amin is largely remembered as a tyrant who presided over an 8-year reign of terror that left anywhere between 300 to 500,000 people murdered in this country and hundreds of thousands fleeing to exile. But in Pakago village, this view is seen as the work of malicious people who did not wish the fallen leader well. All these men and young boys are related in one way or another to the late Amin, and fond memories of the boy who was to be president are still fresh in the minds of some of his peers.
We
used to walk around the village in underwears. So, when he left and joined the army, he used to bring us underwear.
Many of Amin's contemporaries here describe him as a tough and no-nonsense lanky lad in whom signs of a boxing career began showing early.
Kutembea yake kwa yeye anaanza kazi ya gaigai. Kupata mtoto ndani ya barabara box. Yeye iko rafu yake natoka hivi.
And when you tackle me, you can harm yourself. I think you should know this. But I wanted to tell the boxers that the only chance to defeat the referee who are against you or against the country is to win by knockout.
Indeed, in 1951, Amin was crowned Uganda's heavyweight boxing champion. He belonged to the Kakwa ethnic group, and many myths surround them, one of which is that the Kakwa are cannibals.
No. We don't eat people. Even in Kakwa, we don't eat people. Even if you meet Kakwazi in Kampala, somewhere, they don't eat people. Kama wewe kusafanya kazi, wewe kusakuwa adui ya mtu. Ngini nasema plani iko mzuri. Ngini nasema huyu iko mbaya. Hakuna mtu naweza fanya kazi na kuwa 100%.
Amin was known to be a happy-go-lucky and fun-loving man who did almost anything to have fun. The one thing that stands out here is that many of his people, and especially close family members, had a lot of hope in Amin. He may not have gone far with formal education, but Amin was a self-made man who quickly climbed up the military ladders and ultimately deposed the late Milton Obote to occupy Uganda's topmost political job from January 1971 to 11th April 1979. It's here in Arua town where the young Amin spent most of his childhood life. However, details of where he went to school cannot be traced, though many people believe that he went to a school called Mohammedan Primary School. As president, Amin never abandoned his family due to the trappings of power. He kept a close bond with them. He, however, did not live to fulfill his dream of building a decent home in Pagago village. The family members recall with nostalgia the few times the former president would land his chopper in the backyard, and of course the goodies he brought along. Now they want something memorable built in his honor.
And what I will say is let the government think about to build a school or a secondary here like one was built here called Amin Memorial, and up to this time was existing. And Amin was died, up to this time he was not recognized.
Early this year, the communities around here contributed some money and built this mosque behind me to honor their own son, Dada, as is fondly remembered by his brothers. But somewhere along the way, they ran out of funds and the building stalled. For now, they'll keep praying in this old grass-thatched mosque until a solution is found. Amin, who died in exile in August 2003 in Saudi Arabia, left behind over 40 children and many grandchildren. Family members believe that another president of Uganda could emerge from among them. Nothing clearly stands out in Koboko town in remembrance of Amin, not even a road named after the former president. Yet this was his wish, and if it were fulfilled, maybe that would bring some satisfaction to his people in Pakago village. But to others elsewhere, a mention of Amin's name attracts anger and disdain, let alone bad memories. So much on the legacy of a man who was loved and loathed in equal measure, a personality as uniting as he was divisive. I'm Isabel Nakiria for NTV Connect.